Does this happen with you these days? You want to learn something, or let's say you want to get better at something. You go onto the internet, you search for it, you search YouTube videos for it, you start listening to them, you listen to podcasts about it, or you subscribe to Instagram content creators or influencers about it. And within a few days, or sometimes even within a few hours, you become completely overwhelmed with the vast differing opinions available on every single subject online. And not only do you become overwhelmed with the different opinions available, you become overwhelmed with the sheer content, the sheer volume of the content that is available for every single topic now. And then you find yourself in one of these two situations or somewhere in between. You either become absolutely apathetic, you think that I can't learn this. I don't think there's any way to actually reach a conclusion. So I'm just gonna not do anything about it. I'll handle situations as and when they come. Or you reach the other extreme where you feel that because there is so many different opinions out there, of course there is no right or wrong way to go about it. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing, or even if I hear something new, I'll color it up with the story that I already have in my mind. And you find yourself convincing yourself that whatever you're doing is already the right way. So let's just keep doing that because everything is subjective anyway. If this resonates with you, watch this video till the end because I have 3 extremely important things that you must understand, especially in today's world. Now, the first and foremost thing I want you to realize is that this overwhelm is not your problem. This overwhelm is not because of you. There's nothing wrong with you because of which you are feeling this overwhelm. It is just the situation we are in right now. I mean, let's be honest. If you want to learn about anything, any single topic, consider health and fitness, consider parenting, consider the different kinds of health and fitness, consider spirituality, consider science, consider a small segment of any of these vast topics. There are dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of content creators and influencers out there and educators out there and teachers out there who all portray themselves as subject matter experts. Now, some of them are subject matter experts, but almost all of them are not really subject matter experts. But we are all pushing out content almost every single day. There are multiple reels, multiple short videos, multiple clips with these amazingly fast moving transitions which just capture your attention. And there are such reels, there are such videos, there are such posts available on every single topic, every single day, 24/7. So just the sheer volume of content is overwhelming. It has nothing to do with you. It is the situation we are in. And then not only the sheer volume, but also the magnitude of noise that you have to almost swim through to actually reach a potent conclusion. It's bound to overwhelm anyone because, like I said, there are so many actual experts, and then there are so many people just pushing out content for the sake of pushing out content. And then not to mention everyone who's putting out content which is purely for entertainment purposes, but what it does to your brain is it just simulates you, it stimulates you, and it doesn't just stimulate you, it overstimulates you, and you find yourself wanting to resist watching these reels, but then you also find yourself almost unable to do so. And I want to tell you, firstly, this is not just your problem. It's not that in almost all of these situations, there's almost nothing wrong with you because you feel this. This overwhelm is almost the language of the internet right now. Now, having said that, the second thing I want you to realize is that even though there is this enormous subjectivity out there, this enormous difference of opinions that everyone has about every single topic now, even though that enormous subjectivity exists, and even though that means that right or wrong are almost always fuzzy and are almost always subjective, that should not mean that you stop learning. Because even though right and wrong do not exist, better and worse do exist. And that is the mindset to focus on. Instead of looking for right or wrong ways, look for better and worse ways. Because let's be honest, even though right and wrong may not exist, even though right and wrong may be completely subjective, there are better and worse ways to go about almost everything in your life. In fact, that is the reason why you wanted to learn something in the first place, to get better at it. And consider a very small example. Let's say you're pregnant and you're about to become a parent. Now, there is no right way to parent a child, but we know there are better ways to go about it. And there are also worse ways to go about it, right? If you are not a self-aware person, if you do not understand what triggers you, if you do not understand how to regulate your own emotions, if you do not understand how to make space for a toddler's emotions, which are going to be a bunch of them, you are obviously going to be a worse parent than what you could have been if you learned these things, if you spent time learning these things. None of these things will make you the right parent for your child. None of these things will make you the perfect parent for your child, but they will make you a better parent. And the same applies to a host of different things you want to know. Let's say you are a 20-year-old kid who has never worked out in his life before, but now wants to do so. There is no right way to work out, but there are, of course, better ways. Or, in fact, if the vast subjectivity makes you feel that I can't know what is the best way to go about working out, so I'll just not work out, I'll keep doing whatever I was doing, I'll become apathetic towards my life, you can be better. If you start any single workout for that matter, you will be in better physical, mental, and emotional health. And therefore, that is what I want you to see. Even though there is this overwhelm because of the sheer subjectivity available, even though right and wrong do not really exist, look for better ways. Because if your way does not take you towards the better ways, it's not really the right way. And now on to the third thing. In fact, before I go into the third thing, if you're not a subscriber of the channel and you're still here, of course this is resonating with you. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you like this video if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? And also make sure you share this with your friends and families so that I can have an attempt at making sense to them too. Now let's get into the third thing. The final thing I want to say about this overwhelm of our current generation is make space for your cycles. What do I mean by that? See, in the productivity culture that we have almost normalized, especially on the internet, you may feel that you always have to be on your A game every single day. So even if your aim is to get better at something, you may feel that you have to keep working hard towards it, in the sense that you have to be motivated to keep learning and keep doing new things, keep grasping new ideas every single day throughout the week, the month, the year, etc. And now while that's a brilliant aim to have, it's almost not humanly possible. Like, you cannot be on your A game every single day throughout the week, throughout the month, etc. And that is what I mean. Make sure that you make space for your highs and lows, because that is how every single human being works. A human being cannot scale infinitely. Now, making space for your cycles would mean, let me put a very simple example. Women have a biological cycle, right? When they're menstruating, of course, they're feeling a lot of things. But if I was to put an overarching narrative, I would say that they're feeling low. They're feeling not too motivated to do a lot of things because, let me just put it that way. And then on the rest of the days, maybe they would go through relative highs compared to that period, and then it comes down again, and the cycle keeps on repeating. That's a biological cycle that women have. But men don't have this cycle. Women who are not menstruating do not have this cycle. But our moods, our motivational levels, our spirits always work like that, right? I mean, even the moon waxes and wanes. It's not always full moon, and it's also not always new moon, right? You always have these periods of highs and lows. That is how life works for everyone. And that is the kind of a making space that I want you to do. Make sure that you make space for these kinds of cycles in your moods, in your motivational levels, in your energy levels, etc. Because if you don't do that, what you will experience is either apathy or a burnout. And both of them will eventually lead you to either not doing anything about something where you could have been better, or you might keep doing things that you are doing without getting better at them. Whereas the desire to actually learn something actually arose in you because you know somewhere that you can be better. And therefore, this is what I mean. Make sure that even if you want to get better at something, you are not forcing yourself to be better at something throughout the week, the month, etc. In fact, one of the cycles that a lot of ancient cultures used to swear by was actually the lunar cycle. And I don't know if there's an exact science behind it. Like, I do not know if it's actually true that around the full moon you're supposed to feel more energetic, or during the new moon phase you're supposed to feel less energetic. But I do feel that if you align by that cycle, not in the sense that you will feel better around full moon or worse around new moon, but just in the sense that if you make space for this kind of a waxing and waning in your own motivational levels also, you will find yourself almost doing yourself a favor. So what that could look like is, let's say, if it's around your new moon, if you're feeling low, make sure you give yourself space to feel low. So spend those 2-3 days, maybe even grieving, maybe even just digesting everything that you have done already, etc. And then the next 2-3 days, maybe you spend planning as to what it is that you want to know, what it is that you want to learn. So maybe make a proper plan of, these are the 10 different videos that I'm going to watch over the next full moon cycle for myself, or these are the few podcasts, these are the few articles that I'm going to go through, or this is the book that I'm going to read, etc. And then when you're feeling good, when you're feeling that high, make sure you spend those 10-15 days actually executing, actually doing everything that you wanted to do. And then when you find yourself feeling less energetic again, make sure you wrap up this cycle so that you can fall into the new moon phase again, so that you can fall into the planning phase and the full moon phase again. Now, none of this is prescriptive. I do not mean that it is during the full moon that you're supposed to feel this way, or during the new moon that you're supposed to feel this way. We don't do that here on this channel. But what I mean is, make sure you make space for your full moon and your new moon. You can do that in the space of a month too. So the starting of the month can be for planning. The next 2 weeks can be actually for executing. The next 1 week can actually for wrapping up. And the last week, or whatever days are left, can actually be for digesting or for relaxing, for celebrating that you actually went through all of this, etc. Make space for all the different cycles that you will experience, that you will effortlessly anyway experience. So might as well make space for it. That's it, you good people of the internet. One additional information is that this entire idea of making sense of the present moment, making sense of the overwhelm of the present moment, and actually navigating through it is one of the core fundamental teachings I teach in my New Year's resolutions course. If you haven't checked it out yet, make sure you do that. It is not just for your resolutions that you would make during the new year, but it is for any single learning or unlearning you will pick throughout the year around any topic which you want to be better at. Not right at, but better at. So make sure you check out that course too. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you share this with your friends and family. Make sure you share my channel with your friends and family if you still haven't already. What are you waiting for? I'll see you in the playground soon again. Until next time, peace out.